session.
Cool.
So, you know, because I have problems.
Right.
I have problems.
Right.
And then we try to experiment with doing different ways or get
Different ways to solve the
input.
problem.
Yeah, input.
Yeah.
For instance, like, you know, take a technique and then have someone do a technique. He's coming in and I'm doing this Gyaku no Man, and maybe I'm doing this kind of this kind of thing. And then he doesn't want me to do that.
Right.
So he resists that. And this stuff doesn't
Right.
work. So how do we solve the problem? How do we realistically, because I think our system is a good system to build your foundation of techniques, but it really doesn't address the real life situation. Does that really transcend into workability against the big, strong
Yeah.
guy
It
who
always
doesn't feel
wrong
stuff?
story. That's for
Who
damn.
doesn't feel stuff? So,
Right.
and so then I would take that technique and say, well, as long as I'm just pushing him back straight back, and he has the ability to move across the earth like this, he can always collect his balance.
Sure.
So I broke it down to say, well, what I want to do is I want to stop it. I want to keep him off. He's no longer on balance now.
Yeah.
And then to go from here to here, so he doesn't fall back. I'll lock what I've got,
Yeah.
and then I can take all day long. And then still, he can still take a step back if I start this way. So instead, I make him lock his spine, and I go right down there with him. And I still have this as a backup if I need it. And pretty much this is where I've taken Gyaku. And then, like when I'm visiting other places, I notice that they're just doing Gyaku this way all the time. And I'm getting too old to fall down just because I'm supposed to fall down. But if they'll break my balance and put me on one leg like this and lock my spine, man, I'm going down too.
You hang them in space well enough.
Here's
So I just kind of think techniques that bother me the most and then try to fix them
Well, cool.
with everybody else's telling me with the field or something.
They all get to interact a bit. Hey, how you doing?
Because everybody has something of importance
That's
you know, to add to the equation.
Right.
And I treasure all every problem they give me is a problem for me to solve. It's a treasure
More
to get my training going.
Well, I like that paradigm. I like that paradigm. Other questions? What else do you want to do? We can certainly work with that model. I think that's terrific. You have any idea, Brian? That's your fine. You're still just hanging? Adam? Brian? Kyle? You're just lazing around? I took my glasses off. I don't even know who the hell's out there.
I'm stretching. That's John and Fred.
Oh, that's John and Fred. Hi, John and Fred.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. And it's Derek. What do you think? What's alive for you this morning? What interesting Aikido things are you interested in this morning?
Just along the same lines, failures.
Yeah.
How to
What is failure? How are we
Didn't you
defining
say
failure?
something about that the other day? Yeah, you quoted Tomiki, didn't you?
Yeah. So, exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
I mean, I think we learn from mistakes. We don't really learn from being perfect.
Quite so. The paradigm I'm looking at things from lately has been that when we're training the Torii side of things, we're training the side that deals with the active conflict that we can see coming, we can anticipate. The bull is coming at us, we have the cape, and we can get out of the way and deal with it and stab it as it goes by. We can do lots of things to it, interrupt it on its way in. We can have a lot of facility for operating in relation to the conflict as we see it evolve. And at Torii, all the skill sets that we build in Torii, in reaction and exploiting center and off balance and kazushi and all that stuff is awesome. And it deals with one whole side of the conflicting universe, the violence that comes at us. The other side of the conflicting universe is not built around fighting, it's built around surviving the encounter with the predator, who isn't interested in fighting you at all. They're interested in hitting you in the head with a brick when you're not looking. The first sign you have that the fight is on, if you're lucky, is that, the blow is landing on you and you haven't been completely disabled right off the bat. If the shot is good enough, the shot was enough to stop it, and they won in terms of win-loss. But they're not even playing a win-loss game. They're just acquiring you as an asset that they want for whatever reason. You know, it's not a fight, really. In the predator's eye, you're just prey. To survive that, it's torii. It's not torii at all, it's uke. It's the uke stuff and the resilience that comes out of being uke. Of being off balance and hitting the ground and coming back from hitting the ground. And coming off of plant positions and surviving it and having to reacquire center and reattack. To reattack with some vigor. And so the attacks have to be meaningful because we have to build the skill set that from a screwed up position and yet still somehow survivable, that we can come out of that and potentially regain our center and acquire their center, steal it back from them. Once that's going on, yeah, you can do your torii stuff. But until that's happening, until the uke skills have done their job, and what we think of as failing has done its job, until we've gone through the failure and that fire of that, then we're really not in the survival scenario at all. And we can spend a lot of time in martial arts, not only Aikido, but Judo and the whole spectrum, seeing everything from the side of the guy doing the throwing, the guy doing the blocking, the guy doing the off-balancing, and the cool stuff, what we think of as the cool stuff, where we get to build positive ego identification from winning, and we can really be inhibited in our sense of being an uke because of identifying that somehow with losing, that I took the fall and I lost the point in the judo competition, boom, damn, and he gets the trophy and I don't. But that builds a negativity into the skill set that's actually what's causing you to survive. And I find that a little off-putting. The competitive model misses out on something right there. Because the survival mode of the two, you know, I think is going to be the more important of the two, largely. They're both important, but
You want to have part of that survival mode, what you had worked on was negative activity acceptance.
right, and so exactly. If I have a cycle of ideation going on in my head, and I'm interacting with somebody, and they're attacking me continuously, and I'm just dealing with their continuous attack, like we have on Dojo, for instance. And we did an experiment where we, well, let's just do it for a second. We get a partner, because some of you weren't here and some didn't get to do it. We get a partner, and they're just attacking us continually, and we're just defending and getting out of the way, going around Dojo. But say to yourself out loud, over and over and over and over and over again, no, 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 no. And you say it out loud so it comes out your mouth and in your ear and back to your brain and out your mouth again. And completes a full circuit and reinforces, and feel what that's like in your body when you do that. And then, because that's often where people go, oh shit, no, you know, they get very defensive and locked in, and that's a particular mindset you got to be cautious about. Then you can try one where you're saying yes, 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 or even more profoundly, thank you, thank you, thank you. But as the attack's coming down, oh, thank you very much, thank you very much. You have a completely different interiority to it that opens up a lot more possibility and a lot more awareness of what's happening. Very, very different mindset. Yeah, and well, sure, if you want to do a neutral thing, Mushin, the empty mind state, yeah, the floor is white, the bat is blue, you know, you can do ABCs, you can do anything that you say to yourself that has neutral emotional content, that doesn't, you know, that does not involve you emotionally. So as long as you, I mean, I said, well, you could sing a song, but some people start singing songs they like. If you sing songs you like, you'll start getting a positive emotional content. So you try it. Sort of a negative feedback loop going, and feel what that's like, and compare that to what it's like when it's neutral, and compare it to what it's like when it's actually positive, to where you're inviting it. See what those feel like for a second. Because you're studying the mindsets that are dealing with the victory and the defeat thing. Or the oh shit, oh no thing versus the yeah, come on, this is exciting. You know? And you're doing a little role playing. You're doing some role playing with yourself to be under the duress of overwhelming stuff, of failure, And how are we reacting from failure in ways that serve us instead of ways that defeat us? Because if we're reacting to failure with a constant attempt to stop it from happening to us. If I get on the ride with Brian and he gets something going on me and I'm going to stop this from happening to me and lock down and stop it, by definition I am killing my own interpretive ability for where he's going and what's happening next and what's going on in the world around him. And I'm radically limiting my possibility of response. So I can stop A, boom, as he's reacting on me, but when he does B, I have very little reactivity to that. And it's even worse if he's into pummeling me, if he wants to throw a barrage of blows at me. If he's busy stopping this, for instance, don't let me do it. Good. He has a hard time dealing with that. If his arm is loose and fluid and I start to swing, yeah, he just drops his elbow. So don't hit me there, damn it, that hurts. Why can he do that? Well, he can do it because he can read me, one, and two, he can operate his machinery that way, too. But as soon as he locks down in rigidity, that kind of disappears. So there's functional ways of operating out of failure and then reacting, and there's less functional ways. And we want to operate in those failure conditions in the more functional set of boundaries, of ways of operating, at least in my mind. So I'd like to integrate what we're doing, do the failure thing, and then operate with some different mindsets and see what that's like too. Cool? Well, we had some latecomers. What do you guys want to do? This is your last morning here too.
Whatever you wish, sir.
You don't care. He's a break. How about you, Danny? What you feel like doing
Sir,
today?
or anything you teach is fine with me.
You don't care. Okay. Well, cool. Well, let's start with just the dumb little speaking to ourselves exercise. And I do think it's wise to do it aloud to get the full effect. You just feel dumb. You're doing a mantra. I'm giving you a Buddhist mantra. And the first mantra is no, 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 no. Okay? And the second mantra is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, assuming that the ABCs are neutral for you. I mean, maybe you have some sort of, if the ABCs don't work, maybe numbers. Numbers are pretty damn neutral for most people.
My father died from the ABC.
The ABCs killed my father. My mother was destroyed. Number 3.
Fell off a building.
You got to find some neutrality in the world. I don't know what it is. The line is red, the wall is white, the moon is brown. You know, something that basically is giving you feedback where you're hearing it. You're doing that verbal thing because the verbal thing is where the frontal lobe lives. And you're giving yourself that feedback loop and just seeing how it affects your sensitivity and your movement and what's going on inside. And then, yeah, try thank you. It sounds a little weird or radical, but yeah, try thank you and see what that feels like. Everything that's coming into you. Here it comes, and you're just like, oh, thank you. 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 All the way. If he makes success on it and takes me down, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All the way to the floor. Thank you all the way into the ground. Don't abandon thank you even when you're getting thrown. And see what that's like is a form of practice as compared to no, 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 or neutral, neutral. And just experiment a little bit. And then let's get some failure conditions, and let's start experimenting with the failure conditions and the technical responses, both in the failure and the responses to the failure. Cool? And explore both sides of that.